Good evening, everybody. This is William K. Murtaugh. I'm Witness, excuse me, Witness 1. And tonight, as you can see, one of the subjects I'm going to discuss is the Delphi murders. The reason for this is there has been breaking news that happened over the past weekend having to do with an individual uh, by the name of Klein. I'm not sure of his exact name, but Mr. Klein uh, ran a rather interesting website, the Anthony Shots website. Now, just to give people a little bit of an update um, as to what happened, since people may not be too familiar with the murder. This is about a 5-year-old murder, give or take. Um, the girls were walking on this bridge, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to get the timeline going here. Um, okay. On February 13th, 2017, Libby Garman and Abigail Abby Williams went for a hike near the Monanan High Bridge Trail in Delphi. At 1:30 p.m. on February 13th, Liberty Gabby German and Abigail Abby Williams were dropped off to go hiking near uh, the Monon High Bridge, just east of Delphi, according to the family. At 2:07, Libby posted a photo of her on her Snapchat account showing Abby walking across the old railroad bridge. This is the last time anyone heard from the girls. Between 2:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m., the girls had set a time to meet with family members to be picked up. When family showed up to get them, they were nowhere to be found. The family began uh, canvassing the area. After the family could not locate the girls, they contacted the Carroll County Sheriff's Department. Okay, now let me see. These are okay. There's one presentation missing here. Um, here we go. At 11:45 p.m., sheriff called off search for the girls until the next morning. At this point, sheriff said they had no reason that the girls were in imminent danger. Parents, however, continued to search overnight, canvassing the area for the girls. On Tuesday, February 14th, the girls were found. At 10 a.m. on the 14th, all crews were called to the area of the near the Monon High Bridge to resume their search for Libby and Abby. At 12:45, the Delphi Fire Department um, announced that they had found Libby and Abby, calling the discovery not good. Uh, at 1:50 p.m., Indiana State Police Public Information Officer stated at a presser that the bodies were not identified as the girls, but search efforts were officially scaled back. This was on the 5th. Okay. and that on the 15th at 2:33 p.m., authorities positively identified the two bodies found Tuesday as Abigail Williams and Liberty German during a press conference held in Delphi. Autopsies performed later that day. Now, roughly about this time, the home of the Delphi suspect was being searched. Um, as it turns out, this individual was running a social media account around that time uh, called Anthony Shots, and he had used photographs of a model um, to pretend that he was a wealthy model and so forth. For some reason, I had downloaded the pictures of the model, but they didn't come up. So I just, it's one of those things I was pressed for time, so I couldn't do it. Now, what has happened in the meantime is that this individual is going to be arraigned this week. And what I'm going to try and do right now is play a video of one of the latest okay, let's see. I got to do trying to get this worked out. Got to do square share screen. Let me get rid of this guy.
For nearly 5 years, police in Delphi, Indiana, have been trying to solve the murders of two little girls killed near a railroad trestle. Well, now there may be a break in the case. Authorities are asking if anyone knows about a particular social media account featuring photos of a male model. Is there a connection to the murder investigation? Stephen Fabian has the latest.
Could this be the break we've been waiting for in the 4-year-old slayings of Abby Williams and Libby German? Cops say photos of this hunky male model were used on social media to lure underage girls to a suspected pedophile. The model is completely innocent. In fact, he's a cop. He had no idea his image was being used to catfish the girls. This is the man who police say created the phony account. His name is Keegan Anthony Klein, and he is now in jail awaiting trial for alleged possession of child porn. He's pleaded not guilty. Now the state police in Indiana want to talk to anyone who contacted the social media account, which was posted on Instagram and Snapchat under the name Anthony Shots.
The fictitious Anthony Shots profile portrayed himself as being extremely wealthy and owning numerous sports cars.
The police officer whose photos were used without his permission lives in Alaska and says he is completely blown away. I am very heartbroken to hear what happened to those two girls, as I have two daughters myself. I'm in contact with the Indiana State Police and am helping in any way possible. Abby and Libby were found slain near this railroad trestle in Delphi, Indiana in 2017. Libby took this image of the suspect on her cell phone and also recorded his voice. The website Crime Door created a computer animation of how the murders may have taken place. I spoke to Libby's grandfather, Mike Patty, about the possible new lead. Is it hard for you and your family to not get your hopes up when these new leads come about?
To a degree, but actually we've seasoned ourselves. I mean, it sounds bad, and I've seen this enough times that I'm really waiting on the call from law enforcement or the investigative team and say, okay, Mike, hey, we made an arrest.
27-year-old Klein, a security guard, has not been named a suspect or person of interest in the Delphi murders. His lawyer says Mr. Klein has not even been charged with a crime relating to the recent reports. I would just like to caution people to refrain from jumping to conclusions.
Okay, now, further news regarding this individual. He is going to be arraigned this week on the charges that have him currently in jail. And so there is the likelihood that he may eventually be charged, but at least he's going to be in prison for a long time because he has been charged with possession of pornography. He's been charged with attempting to lure girls for who knows what. So I'll be following his arraignment next week to see where that goes. Now, I had kind of made an announcement that there was an arrest imminent this week. I was under the impression that it had to do with this case. And I was called after I indicated that it was this case and was corrected. And it turns out the imminent arrest was announced today. The Collin County Sheriff's Office confirms that Sophie Long has been located in a foreign country and is in protective custody. Arrangements are being made for her to return to her family in the United States. Michael Long is in custody on a felony warrant for interference with child custody. The United States government is working on the extradition of Long back to Collin County, Texas. Collin County Sheriff Jim Skinner stated many months of determined work by my deputies, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the United States Marshal Service paid off this morning. We are so happy that Sophie is safe. And now, there has been kind of a blow up on social media since this was announced today. Social media account after social media account have gone after this story. And so, one good thing has happened today, and that is Sophie is at least in protective custody. She will be brought back to the United States eventually, along with her estranged father, and the justice system is going to do its work. Now, what is not known at this point is what is going to be the procedure here, how quickly is this going to take part, and so forth. Now, I want to get back to my previous subject. Now, you all saw my title, 40 Minutes to Murder, or 40 Miles to Murder, excuse me. And the reason I put that up is this. Mr. Klein lived in Peru, Indiana, still does. The murders of the girls happened 40 miles away in Delphi, Indiana. So, if this individual is named a person of interest or a suspect, that means he only had to travel 40 miles to the bridge and, for whatever reason, allegedly murder these two children. Now, only a person who lives anywhere in the area would know about this bridge. So whoever murdered these girls knew about this location, knew it was frequented by teenagers, knew it was, there was a possibility of being visited by the girls. Now, the FBI sketch is remarkably close to Mr. Klein. And, there's a number of questions that anyone would probably want to ask law enforcement or anyone who is working on this, such as the Down the Hill YouTube site. And that is this: where was this man on the day and the hour that these murders took place? Uh, does this man own a hat like the one pictured here? And is the case of the clothing the man was wearing. Did Mr. Klein own any of that kind of clothing? And is there a way to determine if he did any traveling from his home to Delphi with gas receipts, mileage on his vehicle, pings on his cell phone, so on and so forth? If that kind of evidence is in possession of law enforcement, we probably aren't going to hear about it. Now, there was an earlier suspect, this guy, but, the difference between this sketch and this sketch is stark enough to disregard one of them. Now, there is also a rather weird thing that happened today in regards to. Okay, I accidentally knocked myself off the air. Sorry about that. Um, anyway, there's something else that happened today. Actually, it happened on the 7th of December. Uh, I did my usual checkups over on the courts, in this case, in the Neely Blanchard case. And I came across this rather strange discovery that was sent to the um, defense attorney for Neely Blanchard. And that is that an individual by the name of Kathy Watson had a spy pen. Now, I have one of these, and basically all it is a older fashioned looking fountain pen. You can buy them on Amazon and just about everywhere. It has a 1080 DPI camera in it. The top of the line models do. Sometimes they come with lower resolution, but they do record both audio and video. And you put it in your pocket just like a fountain pen, and the camera's so small you can't see it. And so this woman who is said to be Kathy Watson somehow made a call to Neely Blanchard using this spy pen to record the conversation. Now, what is not known is if Ms. Watson went to Ocala to talk to Neely or if she merely used this thing to record her on the phone. Okay, information I have is Kathy Watson is a close friend of Neely Blanchard. And the information I have is that this is the woman that Neely Blanchard took her two kids to visit in Kentucky when her mother came home and noticed that the girls were missing. this is what got Neely Blanchard in trouble in the state of Kentucky. And so apparently, this woman, for whatever reason, decided to call Neely, according to the court records, using a spy pen. And it's not clear right now, um, what the situation is. Now, right now, the individual has not been named a person of interest. Um, there is a possibility that he may have had something to do with the murders. And as I said earlier, they would have to establish where he was during the time that these girls were murdered. They would have to find out if his car had been used to go back and forth between the two cities. Possibly they have cell phone pings. They would have to have evidence that he had communication with these girls in case it was a situation where he had arranged to meet these girls at this bridge. This would mean that law enforcement would have to be going into the phones of the girls to determine if they had communications with the Shots account or had communications with someone who said that they wanted to meet the girls at this particular bridge. Right now, law enforcement is not naming him as a person of interest. He is going to be arraigned this week or next week, I should say, since we're still only Saturday. But he is going to be arraigned in court on the charges that have him currently in jail, which has to do with an extensive amount of child pornography and other material that relates to the Shots website. Actually, there was a comment made that law enforcement is not ruling everyone in and they are not ruling everyone out. While he has not been named a person of interest at the moment, he is on their list of people that they are interested in. Now, law enforcement is known for keeping things under wraps because they don't want to give away to the person of interest any clues which might help them defend themselves by coming up with alibis or explanations to get them out of whatever trouble they might want to be in. And so what's happening here is we are in a fluid situation in this particular case. Law enforcement would not have made the announcement they did regarding this individual had they not had a good idea that there was a possibility that he had something to do with what happened. Well, Rebecca, you may or may not be right. I have not been following this case that closely. The only reason I was interested in this case is because some idiot decided that he wanted to involve me and a member of this chat in this case by stating that we both were persons of interest. He posted pictures of us, did all kinds of nonsense. And I reached out to the Delphi Police Department, letting them know what was going on. And I also made contacts with people in the local area. And that is one way I found out this situation developed because I was contacted over the weekend and told that there was going to be possibly an imminent arrest in this case. Almost around the same time, I got told that there was likely going to be an imminent arrest in the Sophie Long case. So it's been kind of a weird week trying to confirm all this information before I put it on the air, and as it turns out, I found out that there was going to be an announcement on Saturday regarding the Sophie Long case, and so at 10:30 in the morning, the law enforcement in Texas announced that Sophie had been found and that uh, Michael had been arrested and that they were making arrangements to get her back home and him extradited to face charges for um, kidnapping, interfering with parental custody, and so on and so forth. So, it's been kind of a triple header because on top of everything else, now we've got this thing with this spy pen and this being introduced into court as discovery. This is something that I did not expect at all. I just happened to be checking my account and there it was. Yeah, it's been a busy week, Rebecca. There's a lot going on. And again, there's stuff going on that I can't talk about right now. But um, this is another one of these things where a certain conspiracy theorist has been buried because he gave out explicitly false information. And now the proof is coming out that there may be a specific individual who will be tied in some way, shape, or form to this case. And what is interesting that if this particular quote unquote investigative reporter had done his job, he probably would have found out about this guy being investigated around the time the girls were murdered. It was either the same day or the very next day that they searched this guy's house, a guy that only lives 40 miles from the murder scene. Now, it seems to me it would be logical of someone like this being responsible for what happened to the girls, considering the fact that it is alleged that he had an extensive history attempting to lure dates or discussions, whatever you want to call it, with women by pretending he was this rich model having all these expensive cars and stuff, putting up that he had a jacket worth $8,000 and stuff. Well, these pens are available on Amazon. They're very inexpensive. I actually have one. I haven't used it yet. I don't know where the hell it went. I have a habit of buying things and then losing them. But it's around here somewhere. And so you get these people on social media that go around and do this nonsense, and it gives social media a bad name. There are good people out there trying to solve this case, find out who the murderer is, and then you get someone like this conspiracy theorist over on QAnonville spreading these false rumors and making personal attacks against people that are not guilty of anything. Right now, one of his cohorts is over there on that other site accusing a dead man of being an FBI agent, and I find that interesting. He's accusing a live person of being a dead person, and he has no willingness or ability to do true investigative reporting. And so we have this stuff going on. Yes, it would be. He and his boss have committed plenty of crimes and are continuing to commit crimes, both criminal and civil. And at some point, I would suspect that he is going to answer for what he's done. Um, the thing that happens is you get people who do this stuff, and I took myself off the air again. But you get people that do this stuff, and you know they get overconfident, and eventually they get caught. It's a matter of time. He will probably get caught, and that will be that. Well, it's pure fiction. It's pure lies. Uh, it's defamation. It's slander. It's all of that, and it's hard, to get anything accomplished, get anything done by those that matter, and because of that, we go on with this. So we just have to um, wait it out. So anyway, that's where we're at. Now the Neely Blanchard or the Cynthia Absug trial is still on schedule. At the very same time, we have Neely Blanchard going on trial. So unless there's a change in the schedule in Ocala, I'm going to be going to Denver to cover that. And so there's that. Now, one thing I want to do here, I got to see if I've got. Gonna go into my slideshow. There was an article that was written by this particular journalist, and he was stating that he had to sell merchandise because he had to sell these shirts because he had a trademark. And what I am trying to find, well, I'm going to have to, if you'll bear with me, folks, I just got to do a little scrambling here. Go over to where I've got this information at. And I'm going to bring this chat back up while I'm doing this. But, he said that he had to do this because he's required by law because he has these trademark. And so he said because of the trademark, he has to sell these shirts. And so I've got to, what I'm trying to find. Oh, poo, where did I put it? Oh, I know where it is. Now, some of you may have seen this, but what I'm going to do, he's selling merchandise. So what I've done is for my other channel, I'm selling t-shirts. Now, I'm not, you guys don't have to buy this thing. The only reason I did this is, since he decided he wanted to sell t-shirts, he's saying it's okay to sell t-shirts. So I went and I started my own product line. Now, right now, let's see, where is it? There's my t-shirt. And the link that I put up there will take you to the t-shirt. So if you feel like buying one of these overpriced t-shirts, help yourself. I'm probably going to buy one for when I do the show over on the other channel. I wish they'd done a better job on the t-shirt. It's all wrinkly. I mean, to try to show off a product. Now, what I don't know is how he, that's interesting. Oh, well, anyway. So, that's that. I got t-shirt. So, and the link is in the chat. Say, I'll put it up on the banner. Just, Okay, create a banner. So if anybody decides that they want to buy a t-shirt, they can go to my Buy and Fire account and buy a t-shirt. So there's that. And what's funny is he put the thing up on his blog. I did a segment over on the other channel about this. But this is a terribly inefficient way to sell merchandise. These t-shirts on these online stores are running about twice what you would normally pay for something, even a monogram t-shirt. These things are, let me double check my own store. I don't have a link to that thing on this computer, so what I have to do, I have an alternative. I have to do it this way. Or in fact, I think I'll the way this is set up, the shirt is $24.99, and you get premium unisex tee, you get the classic unisex tee, which actually isn't bad. You can get a long sleeve for $29, and the classic tee in the long. Then of course you get small, medium, large, extra large, blah 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 blah. Delivery window extended, and some orders are experiencing delays due to COVID-19. Thank you for your patience as we work to fulfill orders as quickly as possible. So there's no guarantee as to when you get these things. Now, the way this thing says set up is I set it up as a campaign, and it's going to have to go for 18 days, and then if I want to do this again, but what I'm doing is I'm going to take a screenshot of the entire page so you get an idea what this looks like. Now anybody can do this. These stores are all over the internet. Somebody else I know did one of these years ago, and there's actually the ones that have a better way of doing this. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of that. Because I really hadn't this is something I really hadn't planned on doing. And, it's an inefficient way of doing it. People have to buy this overpriced merchandise because it basically covers their profit and my profit. And come on, this thing is taking forever to upload. I don't know why. Sometimes it uploads fast, sometimes it uploads slower than a dog. But these products, as it were, are decent products. But they're, like I said, they're a little overpriced. Now, I'm thinking about doing the same thing with this channel, coming up with merchandise here, because it is a way to help pay expenses for the show. So there is the store that shows you. This is the long sleeve, shows you basically how I laid it out. And if I get rid of the banner, you will see that there is a time limit of 18 days, 2 hours, 8 minutes, and blah, 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 as of the time I took the screenshot. So that means you got that amount of time. And, what I do is at the end of this, I just start a campaign. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do this again or not, because I only did this kind of because Timmy did it. And if anything, I'll confine it to the other channel just for shits and giggles. So. Well, that would be kind of funny. I would suggest somebody else do that because I don't, I really don't want to get involved with a stunt like that. I think it'd be funny as hell, and I know someone who might want to do that. If I just happen to see a store where someone put up a shirt like that, since someone else is selling it, then I just say, hey, I just bought this because I saw it online. But anyway, that's what's going on. And I'm going to do one last check. I wanted to see something because on one other item that's going on, I checked Friday, and I'm going to check again today just to make sure, because I don't expect this particular situation. I don't expect to see anything. You never know. Bureaucrats are bureaucrats. And we scroll down through. Okay, it has on 12/3/2021, in the case of Field McConnell, a hearing held, reprimand hearing, and it's got Captain CRPT C. Alvarez Laws Group. Now, I'm not sure what that is unless that is the probation department's official. So it is in the court record that there was a reprimand hearing held on the 3rd of December. And that was the Zoom call that we all discussed, where it was alleged that Field McConnell had violated his probation twice. And the judge said that it is going to be up to the state to determine what they want to do, that they can't. He really is not going to or can't act on his own. He would have to act on a recommendation from the probation department, which has not happened yet. So And I don't know if I've seen this one before or not. Okay. View all pages. Okay, that is just restating some old stuff. So, not that I am aware of. What he did is he went on the air just before December 3rd, right around Thanksgiving, maybe somewhere between Thanksgiving and the first of the month. And the probation office, since they were monitoring his channel, his activities, as it were, reported it to the state of Florida. There was a hearing, and basically it's in limbo. We don't know what is going to happen to Field McConnell as a result of this act. Now, I do not think that Bill McConnell's been on the air since the trial. I think his lawyer told him to knock it off and stay off the air, stay off the internet, and just enjoy his retirement. And so that's where things stand at this point. And so the whole situation's on hold. And as far as things I can talk about, there's really not much going on. Um, I actually went through all this stuff faster than I intended, but because of my constant schedules, I don't have a lot of time to sit down and prepare something that would go a couple hours or what have you. And this is kind of an informal way of doing things. So, well, Rebecca, if he breaks probation again, he will be arrested because they are not going to fool around. Um, and people are keeping an eye on him. The probation department's keeping an eye on him. Everybody's keeping an eye on him. So if he violates again, it's back to Florida for a Florida vacation. And, he can thank his friend over there on BitChute for the problems he's having. And yeah, oops, that's the only thing that's really going on over on the channel is that we have what we would call third party harassment by people acting for Tim. And this is one individual in particular is acting in as a third party for that individual and is likely going to cause that individual to get into more trouble because there is a brand new restraining order against this individual. And since this guy has decided that he wants to barge his way into the situation, he may get his friend locked up on a felony charge, which would be very nice. So if he wants to continue with his little shenanigans, it's going to help matters out quite a bit. So, he seems to be very concerned about this channel. He's very concerned about other situations. So he just seems to want to help a certain individual get locked up. And some more power to him. Just keep this stuff up. People are watching. This particular individual came in on Twitter a while back and tried to pull shenanigans. And in less than a day, the account vanished because Twitter saw it And under the new rules that Twitter has, they said, nope, you're not going to do this. And bang, gone he went. So his bragging that the audio that was in the video that he put up was going to be there because Twitter doesn't do anything with audio, it wound up being taken down. So, so the trolls are being trolls, and, it's all they can do. Now, I'm not calling this individual by name anymore unless there is a legal action that is published by the courts that I can put up. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to give them the attention or none of it. They want the attention, but they ain't going to get it. Now, what I will do is I'm going to be keeping an eye all week on the various cases that are coming in. I'm going to, there's sufficient coverage of the long case by other social media accounts, so there's no point in me getting in on the wagon train to that other than reporting any widespread information, such as when Mr. Long gets brought back to Texas and is arraigned and so forth. If I can get my hands on the court documents, I'll report it as such. As far as taking sides or doing various things, the other social media celebrities can do that. And it must be the monitor that's got that. So, we're coming up on 5 minutes before the hour. I am going to log off at 10 o'clock because there's nothing going on. Now, what is interesting is my subscriber level has jumped. I'm at 1,040, and it had been holding at 1,014 for quite some time. So all those new subscribers that have been coming in, I appreciate it. I'm trying to do a better job with these live streams. It's a work in progress. And as things come in the news that are of substance to talk about and so on and so forth, I will present them. I have a couple things that I have to work out with the software. One being that I noticed my intro music gets a little choppy. Now, this is the fault of StreamYard. When I create the video and play it, it's perfect. But sometimes when it gets put up on YouTube, it's choppy, and I don't know if it's StreamYard doing it or if it's YouTube doing it. The only reason I'm sticking with this particular streaming service for the time being is because, number one, I'm paying for it. And number two, I don't get the buffering I used to get when I was going direct to YouTube. But at some point, I would like to go back to going direct with YouTube for the simple reason that I get better video quality and so forth, unless StreamYard can do something about this particular problem. So, it's going to be StreamYard for the time being. Hopefully, as things go along, they'll improve. It's a good service. I have nothing bad to say about them other than I'm running into this minor problem of my videos that I create getting choppy. And I don't know what's causing that because I'm able to share videos through links with no problem. But when I put a video up, such as my intro or something that I make on my own, I'm running into this problem. So we'll see how it works out. It could be a problem with my video editing software. I may try another video editing software, see if I can alleviate that. So anyway, I would like to ask if you have not done so already, please subscribe. Do hit the like button. It helps. Share and so on. Spread the word. because the more subscribers I get, the merrier. We have gone way beyond the necessity for me to have a certain amount of viewing hours plus subscribers so that I can get into court. I've now been credentialed as a member of the press through an international organization. So that is done. And you're welcome, Rebecca. I do appreciate you coming in. Jolly Bridge, thank you for coming in. Al Kennedy, and so on and so forth. You're all very welcome here. You've kind of gone through thick and thin with me through this mess. And so, it's nice to have good and true friends to where we can have a discussion about events of the day. And I might come on my other channel tomorrow. I haven't decided yet. There's nothing to report. They basically gone off into the Twilight Zone with some of the things that they're doing over on the conspiracy area, and they're really not relevant to things. So, since they're doing that, I just don't see any reason to talk about them. But unless one of them gets arrested or something happens, then of course I'm going to have to come on here and report it because it's public news. And so with that, I'm going to wish you all a good night. I'm going to wish you enjoy the weekend. The hoopers out there, keep hooping. Pet those little white puppies for me. And everybody have a good old time for the rest of the weekend. And we'll see you soon. This is William K. Murtaugh, Merton Witness 1, signing off. And have a good one.